Okay, this is the review and then an exercise for the talk that I gave at the Vancouver EFT gathering, the Canada EFT gathering here in 2013. The review will probably be helpful for you just to see the pieces once again, but this exercise was an opportunity for us to actually reconsolidate, using memory reconsolidation, those anxieties that people identified at the very beginning of the talk about 40 minutes earlier. A lot of people got something out of that. Go ahead and watch that if you want. I think it'll give you just one more view into memory reconsolidation.
And looking at that. So my review, synapses link neurons. These are the little peptides. There's happy peptides, there's angry peptides, there's sad peptides, and fearful ones. Mostly the ones we're going to be working with when we're doing EFT or any technique are anger, fear, or sadness. So if a person feels guilt or something like that, usually components of anger, fear, and sadness. So I ask people, is it closest to an anger or fear or sadness? Because why? You just activated the synapse out between the 2 points, go back and exchange. It's that simple. Now, I don't mean like dumb simple. I mean like there's a sensitivity involved with this. And people say, Lars, you're so good at this. And yes, I'm really good at this stuff. So I acknowledge that. That's my genius, Clara, okay? But the process itself, very understandable and simple. Okay, so I guess what I'm inviting for you is the marriage between your sensitivities and your skills, highly refined with a stupid simple process. Okay? Okay, in the synapse, these are the guys that are going together, peptides. That's one little model of one. Here's a couple other little models. Now, you can see, like, that can be instructions. You know, if this thing showed up, it would do something different than the other one. Peptides are instructional molecules. And whenever you have an emotion, like right now, it's like, my stomach's hungry for lunch, you're producing a peptide. Your stomach's growling, you know? And you checked out of this conversation, or it's like, wow, this is like opening up my life. I'm so excited to be producing a peptide. Those peptides are the instructions that cross the cell membrane and go in and tell the DNA what to do. The DNA doesn't just do anything really on its own, or do so much on its own, or maybe it does some stuff on its own. But certainly this emotional peptide that you create is an instruction to tell your DNA how to do its job. That's why when you're angry, it does its job differently than when you're having a happy walk in the park. Yes? If you change the instructions, you change your life. And that's what you're doing with EFT, or the ICE method, or matrix reimprinting. Yes?
So I got to ask this burning question. When we talk about the marriage of EFT, so is what you're saying, I can take my blanket off and stand up. I'm so comfy. Is what you're saying is that you can accomplish the same thing by doing the 2 focus points as you would accomplish by doing the 8-point tapping sequence?
For myself, I use this ICE method all the time now. Okay, that's what I've changed to. And it's interesting, as I've spoken with different people, some of us are like doing the exact protocol. Others came from different places and came to EFT. Others started with EFT and moved to different places. It's all good. The point that I want to say, I don't even know if it's true, because who knows what's true, is what I believe, based on the scientific research and my experience, that what happens in the brain when there's a physical healing or an emotional healing is that those little peptides, those little smiley, angry, whatever peptides, have changed in the brain such that the instruction set is different in the body. I want to show you something in a moment. Memory reconsolidation is a scientific name for this. I mentioned the 2 books there. The other place to do is go look. We're at 5 minutes. So the other place to do is go and look online for memory reconsolidation if you want to start finding the research. the ICE method: identify, calm, and exchange. When you identify, you are identifying either an emotion, pure emotion that you feel, a memory, this is on your sheet, a memory from the past, or an anxiety about the future, or a physical location in the body. The three emotions that will typically show up, people will say different things, but typically will boil down to anger, fear, or sadness. That's a lovely picture. That picture and the understanding of it has really transformed my life. So when I work with PTSD, I am not afraid, right? And there's good reason to be afraid if somebody has a PTSD attack event, right? With all of its intensity. But I know that what we're dealing with is a highly charged molecule that's in this set of synapses. But it doesn't matter the size. So this is all looking from a little good at you. I'm a gardener, so like this was a little happy peptide. This was the big kaboom. So when you've got the big kaboom going on, right, we tread very, very carefully. Well, that mountain, all what I need to help the person do is that the synapse be activated. You don't have to go in there with a shovel and dig it out. Just activate it. You've got 4 hours, maybe 6, whatever. Go to the calm space, get the solution, which is a calm peptide. Go back and observe that exact piece of squash. Not the one growing next to it, that one. And you will bring that molecule into that synapse. And then you observe what's next. And almost always, that one is different. But then something else might come up because that one is different. You know this from EFT if you're a practitioner. But I believe that that's what's happening. So I wanted to just share why I got pursuing fibromyalgia. Next, I want to work with PTSD and then maybe more general stuff. Part of it is just on the, like, people with fibromyalgia are listening because they got fibromyalgia, right? But if you say, hey, I've got this ice method thing that starts playing with your synapses in the brain, I end up drinking coffee alone. So there were 39 participants. I got 32 of them. I used this 2-point method. The first 7 I used a different method. They didn't all get into this calm state. Then the 32, they all got into the calm state. This is a single session, okay? So this are the pain levels that they're reporting when they come to this session. That's 10, the SUD level, right? Many of them in the 8 to 10 range. This is a single session with the ICE method for those people. Those were their pain levels after. 80% of them reported 0 pain. Okay? Now, can you achieve that with EFT? For sure. But if you know what's going on at the synaptic level and what you're after, and that when that calms down, you actually have a different instruction going out to every cell of the body. Remarkable results. Those first ones, these were the ones that didn't go into the calm space. And if you notice, those levels hardly changed at all. They didn't get to a different space to come back and do a synaptic replacement. All the others did. And although they still had some pain, that person there that had the highest pain is what her husband actually happened to be with me and said, I had never seen her feel this good, since she came down with fibromyalgia. Okay? So, I need to tell you that did this last? It did not last. Why? They went back to their daily life, which was filled with fight or flight situations. And this seemed like they had had an experience on another planet. It might just be me personally, but when we get back in our fight or flight mode, then the silliest thing to do is relax. It doesn't make sense to relax because there's a danger. So this was a year ago, I spent the succeeding year putting resources together to help people stay in a calm state such that they feel better. And that's fibromyalgia relief. And actually, just in this last week and next week, I'm launching a community where people can come and be part of groups and forums and have a whole video course. Why? Just so you can come back to this until calm makes sense. Thank you. very much for that question about the 4 hours. You have 4 hours to accomplish this, okay? So you can do it immediately. This, we've got to get us back to the, just want to get back to that synapse. Okay, so once it's active, because you've paid attention to it and you've identified what's there, then you can replace in a minute. That's what we should do to close.
Yeah.
Okay? You all identified something in the beginning, right? Now, first point, your mind, focusing on that point, the body becomes a servant of the mind. You're actually creating a different chemistry. You can do this as soon as you identify the issue, and that's what we do. Second point, again now, the cells of your body are following as servants your mind, which is producing a chemistry of calm and peace, or closer to it. You're actually reacting to that point in the real physical world now. And then when you observe the space that has nothing in it, you are reacting to nothing. Which turns off your fight or flight response such that the cells of your body are just on autopilot. And their autopilot is health, healing, and restoration. When they are free to do what they want, that's the game that they play. That's why this is so valuable. Now, from this calm space, I invite you to observe back on the thing, the issue that you identified at the beginning that was keeping you from being fully present. Observe back on it. Observe the emotion, if it was an emotion, a physical sensation, or an experience. What you're doing is you're bringing this chemistry back to replace. Okay, for how many of you do you feel a difference as you check in? Okay? For how many of you does it feel the same? Same? Okay, so what you do now is identify what's there, exactly what's there. If you actually keep checking it out, usually there's something that's a little bit shifted. You pay attention to that, over and back. If it's changed, in all likelihood it's not absolutely calm yet, it might be. Root around, see what's there, do the process. Right? That's why there's rounds of EFT.
All right, well, thanks for your interest in the science of memory reconsolidation and its application to our physical and emotional health. In this presentation through the science of, or through the practice of EFT and the practice of the ICE method. This was a talk you've been watching that I gave at the Canada EFT Gathering 2013, and I really appreciate your interest in it. There's lots more information over at my website, including training videos and a community where a conversation is going on about physical and emotional health and well-being and how to improve it and actually get rid of symptoms using the ICE method and the science of memory reconsolidation. Also, my book, Fibromyalgia Relief, although it's written specifically for people with fibromyalgia, it's based on this science of memory reconsolidation. And so it's applicable to many different issues that people have, both physical and emotional. The book goes through the technique of the ICE method, the science of memory reconsolidation, and then sort of gaining a perspective on why and how we live in this society that's stressful and in which we have our fight or flight mechanism on so much of the time. So it's a great resource. It's available either at Amazon or else over at my website, myfibromyalgiarelief.com, where you'll find the community, the videos, the training, all those different things. Thank you so much for your interest in the science of memory reconsolidation, in EFT, the ICE method, emotional and physical health. All the best. Bye-bye.